Hey there, you at home. How are you? I hope you're doing alright. I want to start this video out by acknowledging that, yes, other generations are living alongside Gen Z, experiencing the same events. I could already feel the Gen X and Millennial comments itching to be written. This video, more so, is a perspective piece on my specific age demographic. As tech oligarchs and billionaires have ramped up their efforts to shove more unneeded tech and features into our lives at an ever-increasing rate, and as trends and memes bubble up and dissipate in the span of weeks or even days, I feel that having always lived in that does something to someone. The oldest Gen Zers are 25 at this point, the youngest around 13. This generation has a gradient as it goes from oldest to youngest. The oldest of us remember Web 1.0, the birth of YouTube, Rage comics and the recession, pre-Trump Facebook, and as the Wild West of the internet has been tamed over the last 2 decades by the social media and advertiser barons as Google inserted itself as the way to surf the web, like railway companies of old buying out all the old tracks across the US. The youngest of us started growing up in a world of targeted advertising, fervent social media use, and even AI. For everything we've been part of and for everything that gets said about us, I'm actually really proud to be Gen Z, and I'm proud of other Gen Zers watching this. We've grown up in a very peculiar time where the ground shifts like sand under our feet, threatening to swallow us whole if we don't stay vigilant. It is not news to anyone that Gen Z has a mental health problem. It's probably our defining feature, and I'm no different. I'm a mixed race, queer, ADHD and autistic man living in a rural area. I think it's quite self-evident that I struggled a lot growing up. I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but has it felt like to you that through growing up, there's this insurmountable pit that you have to claw your way out of with every single fiber of strength you have in you, and you fail, you fall, and you have to try again, only that when you make it out of the pit, finally, there's just another one. Maybe that's an experience that you have if you have lots of facets of your person that feel in conflict, but that's the internal feeling. It took me a long time to get to where I am today, feeling mostly okay with myself and sometimes even kind of good. But I can't help but feel a little fucking furious. Let me know if you feel the same way. I think what's particularly crushing for a lot of us in Gen Z is that we all had similar experiences growing up. We're a generation that has, on the whole, accepted queerness far more than generations before us. We're much more advocates for mental health due to our unique challenges with it. So, did it not feel disheartening to make it to adulthood, which for a lot of us was no guarantee? Fighting through all of the inner turmoil and going through the process of shirking off the bad habits you picked up from unfettered internet access and addictive algorithms, only to find that the world you expected to be there once you got out of the hole is no longer there for you. For the people in the middle to older part of Gen Z, I feel this pain is particularly strong, which I'll get into, but let's not forget that the youngest of us, like what they must be thinking right now. I have siblings still working their way through school right now, and I'm scared for them. The reason I specify the older half of my generation is that we still grew up in the twilight of the you gotta go to college and get a 4-year degree to be anything sentiment. A lot of my friends my age are currently getting degrees. I feel so bad for older Gen Zers because they absolutely went to college assuming the job market was going to be there for them, but it got absolutely destroyed right as they got there. For the middle, like me and my friends, money got so hard to come by right as we graduated high school, in the aftermath of the COVID pandemic and how that affected schooling. I went to college for a semester, hated it. Dropped out before I owed any more money than I already did. Hey, future Alex here. I think it's pretty telling that what I'm talking about is when you read this post from this account here on Blue Sky, things are fucked now, to put it frankly. And so many people who spent their lives working to be something are all just having it swept out from under their feet. And this doesn't even just affect Gen Z, obviously. Even if you got into a career, even if it was before the pandemic and rising inflation, take a look at this graph. Look at that. It's from the Australia Institute. You could have been doing everything right, working like a dog, saving as much money as you can, and still, it isn't enough. I was particularly excited to own my own home growing up. I had so many ideas to make it such an awesome space, one that I would be excited to raise kids in with my husband. I don't think it's happening. Not anytime soon. It doesn't help that the fascists and tech oligarchs in the government are absolutely destroying the economy even more than it already was. We're making enemies out of friends, friends out of enemies, becoming villains on the world stage. It's crushing and embarrassing. I asked my younger brother recently how things were in his social studies classes and current events. He told me that everyone just kinda can only say, that's terrible, and then continue to do work. It reminds me of the book turned movie On the Beach. In short, the story is about how superpowers in the Northern Hemisphere all blew themselves to bits with nuclear bombs, and even though the radiation will drift south and kill and poison all the inhabitants of the Southern Hemisphere, they just kind of keep doing their thing, washing their clothes, going to work, living their life, acting like nothing is that amiss. It's a slow, indeterminate death, and they can do nothing about it. So why do anything at all? The far more popular and better bearded essayist Jacob Geller talks about it in an excerpt from a video about pre-apocalypse art. So if you want to hear about it, he writes about it better than I ever could. But I really resonate with the characters in that story. It feels like we're on the precipice of something big. Maybe not nuclear war, but still devastating. Neo-Nazism and white supremacy has not been stamped out hard enough in the last 2 decades. We let the bigots run wild, attacking good people who just want to live their life in a way that they feel comfortable with. We let it become okay to be openly hateful. And I'm not going to pussyfoot around calling it what it is, but Elon Musk threw a Nazi salute, multiple actually, at the inauguration, and many have since. Do not let them tell you it isn't. It's a popular alt-right tactic to gaslight people whenever they point out or react to their shitty behavior. J.D. Vance has been doing it. And don't say that it was a Roman salute either. The Roman salute is just what Mussolini and the Italians called it during World War II because they wanted so desperately to relive the bloody glory days of the Roman Empire. It never meant anything else but allegiance to Hitler and fascism, and it never will. There's open attacks on trans rights, even gay rights now, ICE raids on natural-born citizens. It's awful. The air is electric. Can't you feel it? I wouldn't blame anyone for just giving up right now. I've been struggling myself to even find motivation to pursue anything because I don't know if it'll ever even matter, you know? Why do anything for the future when there seems to be no hope in it? To all my fellow Gen Zers who live in isolated or conservative states or rural counties or amongst people who don't respect you for who you truly are, I'm so sorry. The world on multiple levels is working against you, and it's hard. But know that you're not alone. Know that thousands upon thousands of people just like you and I are out there trying to figure it all out, to make sense of all of it, to ask ourselves how we got here. Don't let that darkness swallow you. As much as you and I would love nothing more than to just lay down, hang up your hat, and let the nothingness cradle your young, yet tired bones, we just can't. We have a moral obligation not to. We have a mission, and maybe that's something we can hold on to. What can we do? I'm not about to say what you think I'm about to, maybe I am, but I'm not about to say, get out there and vote, because voting as an average citizen is known to have little to no effect on policy. And I'm not going to say, go call your representatives, because we've been seeing more and more that Democrats just love to throw us and our country to the wolves. Don't get me wrong, you should go call and harass your representatives every chance you get. Let them have it. Let them know that you exist. All that advice for action you hear all the time. What I am going to say is that our system is obviously not working. Votes don't do anything. People don't have money. People are dying from preventable diseases, going hungry and homeless, all in the richest country in the world. Our leaders disregard the Constitution, and corporations are ranking us ever harder for what little money we have left. Capitalism is dying. And before you get scared, I used to be a strong pro-capitalist. I thought that it made the most sense. But let me be the first to tell you that it is in no way infallible. It's a system that will always destroy itself and consolidate wealth. I'm not about to break out a copy of Das Kapital or the Communist Manifesto and give you a boring lecture. But what I am going to say is that they make some excellent points. If there is anything I urge you to do, it's to learn about the world. Learn about how we got here. Learn that things didn't have to always be like this. Learn that human nature isn't inherently selfish. It's not. Anthropology shows this well. Milo Rossi at the channel Mini Minuteman does videos on ancient civilizations, and through these studies we know that humans were not destined for capitalism at any point in our history. It wasn't inevitable. Learn how many social issues we faced in the past never really ended, like neo-slavery, redlining, South American interventionism. Learn how religious movements like the Seventh-day Adventists and the evangelicals came about, and how they are now trying to stop climate progress because they believe it signals the end of days, which means their religious prophecies will be fulfilled. These people influence policy. Or how American schools teach a severely warped view of history called the standard American history myth that glosses over or ignores all of the horrible actions we have had as a country, from Native American genocide to fascist sentiments in the 30s to South American interventionism. The channel Knowing Better has an excellent backlog of videos talking about all things such as that, including health fads that spawned out of religion and usually pertaining to John Harvey Kellogg, and more honest retellings of America's founding. Please learn how capitalism has been fucking us over for decades. How it can never stay healthy. I don't think I'm qualified to teach you about any of these things, so I'll be linking a lot of videos and channels down below to various topics if you're interested in any of them. All I am pleading you to do is to look at everything. This isn't the outcome of a system or economic model that works. Not for the betterment of humankind, anyway. Please take a step back and look at all of the lies we've been fed, all of the history they cover up, and know that it could have been so much better. I urge you to become a socialist. I have, and as someone who used to think that commies were the devil and that they were coming for my toothbrush, let me be the first to tell you that none of that is true. Gen Z lives in this electric time, on the precipice of something great. Every single horrible thing can be drawn to our insatiable need for profits over everything else. From bigotry to climate crisis, healthcare, the price of eggs, mental health, I mean it. It's everything. To everyone around my age watching this, you and I could be the change the world needs. You and I could be the generation that fought for all generations, present and future. We could be the generation that sets humanity on a path towards collective support and love and empathy, one that respects its environment and all of its inhabitants. We could be the ones to usher in a golden age of progress where we no longer fight over dollars or scrape together money at your 40-hour job under the delusion that you'll be able to buy a house one day like your parents did, because don't think otherwise. It is an illusion. Empathy is no sin, like some would try and have you believe. Empathy is the biggest strength we've got. Please learn about your world, learn why it is the way it is, and learn about the alternatives. We could be onto something great. I have an outro here that I will get to once I say this, but I had originally recorded this video with my face in it, and I decided to not do that because you may have noticed that some people are getting snatched by ICE, like people who have been here since 2 years old, people who are married to U.S. citizens, and I am a U.S. citizen. I was born here, but, we're seeing a lot of worrisome activity. So I think going forward, I am going to keep my face concealed just for my safety. I hope that doesn't take anything away from the video, and that's enough about that. Thank you. I've had to end this video like 3 times now because I'm working with very rudimentary technology. So my phone keeps cutting out every 10 minutes. I've had to record this in chunks. You might have been able to notice the cuts. I've recorded this outro to nobody 3 times now, trying to squeeze it all in. But now that this is a fresh start, I get to talking. I just want everyone watching this to know that it's okay to be scared. It's scary right now, and there's no way around that. I want you all to know that even though things look like they're going in a bad direction, this might be exactly what we need to kickstart a better world. I think that if you're younger like me, even if you're older, this video is targeted towards Gen Z, but if you're not Gen Z yourself, that's fine, right? I am glad that you stuck around to watch this video. I just want all of you to know that things could be better. And I think I've decided that going forward, I'm going to do a video talking about David Graeber's The Dawn of Everything. It is a book about humans and how we lie to ourselves that history is far more shallow and boring than it really is. It's a beautiful book. It's one that I think can reinvigorate a sort of love for humanity that I think that we haven't felt in a long time. So I'm going to keep this short. All I want to say is thank you for watching. I hope you're doing all right. I hope you're safe. I hope you're happy. I hope people love you. And have a good day.